That's 903-WHPC on Instagram from 90.3 WHPC.
Opa! Yasu!
Hi, this is Teddy Savalas, and I invite you to 2 hours of vintage and modern Greek music with a mix of Greek mythology, history, culture, and dynamic English vocabulary based on Greek roots. If after listening you end up saying it was all Greek to you, I'll be thrilled. So until then, let out an opa and dance to the music on the Soul of Alas, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Opa!
Welcome to Music is Therapy. My name is Larry Carlson, registered music therapist. Since the beginning of time, music has had a profound effect on human behavior. It has allowed us to tap into emotion and to express ourselves in endless ways. As a nonverbal means of communication, music can help heal, calm, make us happy, and release anger. Music is Therapy looks to artists and professionals as we seek to empower self-expression and connect the extraordinary healing power of music. Come join us today as we take our journey. Sit back, unwind, let go, and let us discover what music can do for you. Welcome to the free concert edition of Music is Therapy. Music affects the way we feel, and it tunes into the extraordinary connection to people, places, and events. Music has the ability to bring back memories of the past as it provides a release of endorphins, nature's feel-good chemical. Today we connect music and its ability to bring people together. My special guest, Dr. David Reich, the concert chiropractor. Hang on tight as we discuss some of the free concerts in your area, as well as our special edition of Health Tip of the Day. As we put our music headphones on, let's crescendo now. Enter Dr. David Reich, the concert chiropractor.
Well, coast to coast, there's a question everybody's always asking me. People want to know everywhere I go, what can the answer be? I tell them music is the doctor. Makes you feel like you want to. You gotta listen to the doctor. Girl, like you want to. Music is the doctor.
Oh, listen to that applause. Listen to that applause. It's always a pleasure to sit back and
My
really...
fan club.
Yes, your fan club is here, Dr. Rice. It's really a pleasure.
All
just
on
to-
a CD, too. You know?
We're going to sit back today and we're going to enjoy the concert, Doctor, because he's got some information for us. And it's this time of the year. Every year, Dr. Reich comes in, and it's time to experience music in a live format. And we talk about this because there's a difference between going to a concert and really experiencing a band in a three-dimensional form, so to speak. Anyway, welcome back, Dr. Reich.
Larry, thank you very much for having me. I always look forward to the first show and the last show and the second throw and every show which we put on during the summer. I really enjoy sharing this information. I like talking about it. I like meeting people in the studio. So it's a pleasure for me to be here. Really,
a lot of good music people work here, and we're going to discuss music in its free form today. And what I mean by that, it's alive. There's music out there, and it's free. We're going to talk about
and remember
a free
that
concert
free
series.
is almost as good as not having to pay for it.
I'm telling you, it's almost what? That's a good, I have heard you say that before, and that's true. So you talk about your newsletter because you're putting together a lot of shows this year, and you've done, I was looking at how many shows we've done. I think you started with us in 2007, but I'm not sure. So I think you're with us for about 7 years.
10-year anniversary.
Yeah, or maybe even 8 years we're here. So it's coming up, and you put together this list, which indicates to people where
Every
they can
year,
go. Talk about it.
I'll talk about my list.
Yep.
Every year I put together a list of usually about 750 events, most of which are concerts. We have movies, there's some dance ensembles, there's symphonies, a lot of rock and roll, disco. And on a weekly basis, I send the newsletter out to people who subscribe to my newsletter. And just like the concerts, there's no charge to subscribe to my newsletter. And we let people know what concerts are coming up within the next 2 weeks. Included in the newsletter, it's all hyperlinked up, so you can click on the name of the band and it'll go to their webpage or a Facebook page. As far as the location, the venues are concerned, you can click on that and it'll get a Google map showing you exactly where the place is. Also, we hyperlink the municipality which sponsors it as well. So this is what my newsletter looks like. We've been putting it together for, I'd say now, maybe 10, 12 years. It's interesting how it started. It started very easy when I was learning how to put together a database. You know, some people have hobbies. I guess my hobby is learning how to put together a database back in the early days in Excel. And I got the name of 4 or 5 venues. And just for fun, I decided to put it in a spreadsheet, and I left a couple of copies on my front desk for my patients to take. They were grabbed up pretty quickly, so I made more copies. And then I got to the point where you might as well bring it to a printer because I'm going to make about 50 copies of this newsletter. And they went very quick, and I just got sick and tired of paying the cost of printing every week, having to print up more and more of them. I decided to handle it all via email. And I was doing that on my AOL account, but once we got past about 100 people who wanted my newsletter, I had to take on a service, an email service, which we did. And it's grown to the point where I send out over 2,000 newsletters at this point. And I know that some people who receive my newsletters send it out to people, of course. And I have people which get my newsletters and send it out to entire organizations and everyone on their mailing list. So I'm figuring 7,000 to 8,000 people get my newsletter every week during the summertime.
I'm figuring that, too. As a matter of fact, years ago when I was in the advertising business, believe it or not, I even brushed elbows in that business for a while. I think I did it for 15 years. They the circulation of a newspaper or a magazine, let's say it was 1 million readers, you figure that it was 2 to 3 times the amount of readerships. So if you're sending out a newsletter and people are sharing it, and I'm one of them, because I send that out to, you got to figure I send you a newsletter out to at least 100 of my people, and who knows where it goes from there. And I have noticed that at some of these concerts that I've met you at, a lot of people come up to you and they recognize you from
my picture,
from the picture in the newsletter.
Yes, in order to save money and not have a logo, I just took a picture of myself, a headshot from about 14 years ago. I don't look like that anymore, but I'm still using it. And also by calling it Dr. Reich's newsletter, it's just what I called it, and I've just kept the name all this time.
Actually, you look better.
Yes.
But,
oh, yeah.
But you know who Dr. Reich is because he's a very tall gentleman. I thought I was tall. I'm 6'3", for those of you who don't know. Because on radio, you can't even imagine.
He is the world's tallest midget. That's what he is.
That's it. And you're
smallest giant, one or the other.
And you're about 6'6", right?
6'4".
6'4", okay. Coming out of a smart car, that's another story. We just talked about that. Amazing, the headroom in a smart car.
Really
it's amazing, the headroom. And it was, I had a chance to drive your car. I think it was last year. I was very amazed that somebody my size could fit in such a small car. Now, we have, getting back to the newsletter, because anybody who wants the newsletter, we do a show here during the summer where we provide not only what's going on, but if you'd like the newsletter, Dr. Reich can send it to you. You just have to request it. What's the email on that? DRDREICH@AOL.com. Yeah, I'm kind of old school, so I got AOL.com. I never changed it either.
Yeah, I changed it. It works.
Okay.
I don't have to be a Gmail person.
So there's going to be a little bit. A lot of times you will write something. You'll go to some of the concerts. You set out your opinions on what goes on. What's this? And then after that is the list where people can click on what they want to see.
Usually I will send out my own commentary on a concert I might have seen the week before, or a concert I plan on seeing with a group which I've already seen or interested in seeing. And then what we do is we include about 2, sometimes 3 weeks worth of upcoming programs, so that this way you can, set up your life. And what happens is somewhere probably about the middle of July or so, my list is complete, and then I make it available to anyone who wants it. I'll send them a PDF a PDF of my list, and it's over 100 pages in most instances, so I certainly would just keep it on the computer and not waste all that paper and kill that many trees.
There's a lot of concerts to see, and what we're going to talk about today is actually, Dr. Rice, you have some of the list with you, and it's quite extensive this year. Why don't we start with what's going on June the 16th? I think that's the date that we want to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
At this particular point,
by the way, that's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
Okay.
The middle of June to the beginning of July, not that much going on. The numbers aren't that big, but there are some very good concerts, some interesting things, which I certainly would like to discuss with you. Starting off on Friday, that's the 16th of June. I've been looking at this group's name for years. They're called the Hoodoo Loungers, and they play jazz, Mardi Gras, New Orleans music, and they're going to be playing at the Russ Savitt Park in Kings Park, and that's going to start at 7:30. On the 18th, let's take a little ride to Queens, to Forest Park. My friends at Forest Park. I do have quite a few friends there. On Sunday, June 18th, and this is an early concert, at 5 o'clock, there is the History of Rock and Soul, featuring Paulie and the Goodfellows. And that's going to be in Forest Park at the George Suford Band Shell. That's Sunday, June 18th at 5 o'clock. I think that's Father's Day, too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it sounds like Father's Day.
The 18th is Father's Day. Yeah.
Father's Day, right. Here's something which I'm going to try to go to see, because I'm wanting to see this guy for the last few years. His name is Wayne Holmes, and he does a tribute to Ray Charles. From what I hear from a very good authority, he's supposed to be excellent. That's going to be on Tuesday, June 20th, starting off at 8 o'clock at Firefighters Park, also known as John's Park or Grace Park, in the village of Great Neck, New York. Another group, which I have seen them perform, they're called Alive and Kicking. They had one hit song, I believe, in the 70s, Higher and Higher, or Tighter and Tighter. I can't remember exactly. But they're going to be playing at Lincoln Memorial Park in New Hyde Park on Wednesday, June 21st, starting at 7:30. This is sponsored by the Maspeth Federal Savings Bank. On June 23rd, a good friend of mine is in this particular band. It's called Cold Spring Harbor. The lead singer is Pat Farrell. It's a very good Billy Joel tribute band. And they're going to be playing at the Memorial Park Amphitheater, 195 Marcellus Avenue Road in Mineola. And that's going to begin at Friday, June 23rd at 7 o'clock p.m. Let's see what else we have here. This is something I really would look forward to seeing. I've not seen this group ever listed in my list. The name of the group, and I love the name, is The Band Band. They're a tribute group for the band. The band was the backup band for Bob Dylan. And they had a lot of hit songs, Levon Helms, Robbie Robertson, just a great group, The Weight, and just great band. It's a tribute band called the Band Band. They're going to be playing at Tanner Park in Amityville. And Tanner Park is a beautiful location, located right on the South Bay in Amityville. It's a very nice park. And that's going to be on Friday, June 23rd, starting off at 7:30. The next day, Saturday, if you're a fan of Pink Floyd, and really, who isn't? Okay, there's going to be a group called Prognosis, and they're going to be playing at Eisenhower Park. That's the Lakeside Theater. That's on Saturday, 6/24 at 8 o'clock p.m. And I'm looking forward to that, too. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. This is where the action starts, it seems. The third week of June is where we start seeing the good concerts starting to come out. But there's just one more we can talk about for the 24th. That is Badlands. It's a Bruce Springsteen tribute. One of my favorite venues is the Jones Beach Bandshell, and that's where they're going to be playing. That's on Saturday night, 7:30, at the Jones Beach Bandshell. The group is called Badlands, which is a Bruce Springsteen tribute.
Let's